Somebody read Matthew 26, verse 38. Go ahead, sir.
It says, "Then he said to them, my soul is deeply grieved to the point of death. Remain here and keep watch with."
So Jesus is overwhelmed. He knows he's going to die. It's prophesied that he's going to die, and it's overwhelming him. John 18, verse 4.
And it reads, Jesus therefore, knowing all the things that should come upon him, went forth, and he said unto them, Who ye seek? Glory be to God.
Amen. So Jesus knew that he was going to die. And so when the people came to his home, when they came to arrest him, he asked them, who are you looking for? I'm right here, right? Let's bring it to the youth. That's almost like if you're committing a crime, right? It don't matter what you're doing. And the police and the feds come and they rush your door. Usually if you're selling drugs, you run to the bathroom, you flush it down the toilet. If you're doing scams on your computer, you pour the water on the computer and you hope it fries so no one could get you. But you never go straight to the door and say, come in, I know you came for me, right? But this is what Jesus is doing. He's saying, come, I know you're here for me. Do you want to put the handcuffs in the front or in the back? Luke 23:23.
But they were insistent, demanding with loud voices that he be crucified. And the voices of these men and of the chief priests prevailed.
Meaning what? They're saying that the chief priests and the rest of the people are yelling to convict him, right? That's like if I'm coming to church every week and I'm preaching to you guys. It's the same thing. It's like I'm coming here every week. I'm doing a week of prayer. I'm doing a crusade. I'm preaching and praying for a month. And when that month is done, the same people that saying you're doing such a great job and saying, okay, time to kill him. It's him. It's him. It's him. And not only that, they had an opportunity to let me go, but instead they let a real criminal go, and then they crucified me. The same person that healed them, that fed them, that made the lame walk, that made the sick whole again, is the same person that you want to kill. And we see that till this day. Till this day. Till this day. Right? Somebody read Isaiah 52, verse 14.
It says, as many as were astonished at thee. His visage was so marred more than any man, and his form more than the sons of men.
Thank you. It's saying that he was beaten to the point beyond recognition. They beat him beyond recognition. And we see that even today. Like, you know, I don't know if you guys heard about the story of the guy who was tied to the back of the car and they dragged him along the highway until his skin came off his body. He was beaten beyond recognition. And they did that because he was black, you know? And that's the same thing that they did to Christ. They did that to a cop. I forgot in what state, where these two young kids were drunk. One was 22 and one was 21. And when the cop came to them and the cop tried to stop them because they were stealing, the cop's leg got caught in the back of the ropes that was in the back of their car, and they drove with the cop attached to them, and the cop's body was dragged until his skin came off and his leg broken off. And that cop had just gotten married. He was just married to his wife for 2 weeks. So this is still happening till today. Matthew 27:46.
My God, why have you forsaken me?
So this is Jesus crying on the cross, and he's saying, Eliza, Eliza, Father, Father, why hast thou forsaken me? And he's asking his father, why, God? Why, God? Why? 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 Why me? Why, God? Why, God? Why me? And we oftentimes ask ourselves this question, why, God? Why, God? Why me? But the last thing that Christ says in Luke 22, verse 42, he says,
Father, if it is your will, take this cup away from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done.
If it be thy will. So he's asking himself, why God, why God, why God? But he's not saying for God to remove him. He's saying that if his father wants to remove him, to remove him. But if his father does not want to remove him, then he will accept everything that his father has for him. He's fully succumbing to the will of God. And we ask ourselves, we all want to be Christians. We all say that we're Christians out of our mouths. But do we know what a Christian is? After reading all these scriptures, after reading Mark, Luke, John, Isaiah, do we understand what a Christian is? When we see all these things that Christ went through, when we see that Christ went through hardship, a great agony, a great pain, a severe mental and physical pain to the point where he was sweating blood, where he was begging his Father to take this away from him, but also fully succumbing to the will of God, allowing himself to be arrested, allowing himself to be put on the cross, even when he knows that he's innocent, to die for people that has betrayed him, willing to do all of this. That is what a Christian is. Sometimes in our very last moment, in the moment where we feel that we need everyone the most, that is when we will see that we are the most alone. And when we are the most alone, that is when we will see that God is with us the entire time. And that we can turn to God and ask for salvation. But the one thing that we got to remember is that the salvation that you're expecting is not the salvation that you will get. We have to be more like Christ and accept the salvation that God will give unto us. And once we're able to accept the salvation that God is going to give to us, then we will understand what grace and mercy really is. And I think that is when we will become a true Christian. And that is the story that I would like to leave with you today. But I don't want you to just leave it and toss it to the side. I want you to leave here and to share it with someone else. When someone transgresses against you, forgive them. When you transgress against someone else, ask them for forgiveness. When you're going through difficult times, do not give up. That is when you have to pray the most. When someone comes to you and they ask you to pray for them, do not speak about their problems, do not speak about their issues, but bring it to God and hold it in prayer. That is how we're able to help one another. That is how we are able to grow, and that is how we're able to show that we are Christians. And that is my sermon for today. Thank you and amen.